It is a Friday night, and we are on the home stretch here for Reggie's Sleepout at home. A little bit of a different, kind of a different form this year, an exciting form, though, where we have folks all throughout the state sleeping out at home, all to raise awareness for homeless youth throughout Iowa, throughout the entire country, of course, but right here in Iowa. And speaking of Iowa, a couple of awesome folks, special guests here. We have Toby O'Berry, and Toby is our IHYC director, which, Toby, what does IHYC stand for?
That stands for Iowa Homeless Youth Centers.
Yes, and I have learned so much throughout these broadcasts about the Iowa Homeless Youth Centers and the amount of youth that are impacted, and so much stuff. Hopefully we'll be able to talk maybe a little bit more kind of statistics later on. But we also have another special guest with us, Nate Lentz. And Nate, now I don't want to mess things up here, but you are a board member with IHYC, correct?
That's correct, sir.
And also a part of a pretty well-renowned organization. I think it's something like nationwide, is that right?
That is true as well, yes.
Okay, so and I think that's going to
company.
Yeah, just small mom and pop company.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that might play a little bit into our conversation, maybe a little bit later on. But welcome to you both. And real quick, can throw this out to Toby or Nate. Can somebody give a quick synopsis of Reggie's Sleepout for anybody who's tuning in real quick?
Sure. Well, Reggie Sleepout, historically, it used to be at Drake Stadium in support of homeless youth, raising funds and awareness. And really, we had to pivot due to COVID-19, and now we're bringing Reggie Sleepout to the community. And during the event this year, for from the 4th to the 10th, people are able to sleep out and raise funds and awareness for homeless youth at home, social distance, while still giving back. And we're in day 8. Got a couple days left, kind of on the home stretch, and excited to be here tonight broadcasting with you.
Yeah, and the impact of what Reggie's Sleepout does is incredible. Again, throughout these past nights with the broadcast, we've been talking about the different amounts that folks can donate or they can give, and what really the impact of that means. So let's talk about $450. $450, what would the impact if somebody was wanting to donate $450 tonight or tomorrow night or anytime really? What would the difference that would make?
You think about some of the game changers during COVID-19, and one of those is technology. It's really kind of the gateway that we're able to stay connected with our youth. And so that $450 impact and investment would be able to provide cell phone service as well as equipment for one staff for an entire year. So that's working with anywhere from 18 to 25 youth that each of our staff connects with, typically almost on a daily basis now, texting and calling. So that cell phone and data plan, really, that $450 investment is a big impact to our agency. Then the second item really is that at that $450 level is office supplies for our rapid rehousing program. And really it's office supplies, household supplies as well, all the kind of different knickknacks that youth need in their apartment. You think of toilet paper, paper towel, cleaning supplies, really kind of all those different supplies. We typically spend that $450 on office supplies for a year for that rapid rehousing program. And then that third item is $450. It supports 6 youth with furniture and household supplies when moving into their own apartment. So we have a partnership with a nonprofit called the Free Store. You can kind of see one of the pictures there on the screen is one of our youth in our rapid rehousing program. So we can provide furniture. We can provide all different household items for youth. At that $450 level, would provide 6 youth with the furnishings for their apartment.
Wow, $450 can go a long ways. And we talked, I mean, I think it was maybe on, was it Monday or last week sometime, about technology and that cell phone. the importance of a cell phone. Now, back when I was a kid, and Toby, I'm not going to talk about your age, Nate, don't know you well enough to go there. But you know, back when, you know, cell phones weren't that big of a thing. Now everything is
The
connected.
size of them were, but see what I did there?
Yeah, those big green machines that we used to have. But no, I mean, just accessing a job, looking for jobs, looking for different resources. Now the internet's connected on it. Data plans that are still out there that has to pay $450, and that was a year.
Yep, for one staff.
That is, again, that is incredible. So folks listening out there, $450. Did you hear that? What an impact and what a difference that can really make. Also, partnerships can make a pretty blasted big difference. And we have Nate here, and I was hoping to circle back around to that ma and pa shop that you work for called Nationwide. And just little, but Nationwide, and I understand here that we have a partnership with Nationwide, and it's a partnership between IHYC, again, the Iowa Homeless Youth Center, and Nationwide. Nate, can you talk a little bit about that, because you're a board member, but also part of Nationwide? Where's the connect there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a partnership that it's incredibly important to Nationwide. And Nationwide, to your point, large corporation, right? But I think one of the things that makes Nationwide so unique is being a mutual company and being very involved in our local communities. We talk often about being more than a business and giving back to our local communities, and not only giving back, but being involved and truly doing the involvement piece versus just writing a check. And so I think for Nationwide, the partnership with IHYC is incredibly important, and specifically Reggie Sleepout as well. When we look at the ways we give back as Nationwide and the priorities there, homelessness is actually a tier 1 priority for us when we look at the ways that we give back. So the alignment there with IHYC and especially Reggie Sleepout, it's just it's really important to us, and I think there's just tremendous alignment there. And frankly, we've been supporting IHYC and Reggie Sleepout since the beginning, back in Toby, 2005, I guess it was. It's been 15 years now. So it's important to us. It really is. There's some other ways that we've been able to support IHYC as well. IHYC recently received an operating grant from Nationwide as well that goes to help our street outreach and our drop-in centers as well. I think that's super important for us as well. And you know, as I mentioned before, not just writing the checks, but we've actually got a group of volunteers prior to COVID-19 that came once a month to our Youth Opportunity Center to serve lunches as well. So there's a tremendous partnership there. We couldn't be more happy to have IHYC as a partner and continue to help out that cause, whether it's at IHYC throughout the year or specifically with Reggie Sleepout.
And I love that picture there. I mean, showing just, again, that community involvement, because wow, when you go in and you see IHYC or 612, you know, one of the locations of Iowa Homeless Youth Centers, and you see the impact there, it hits you, and it really does make a difference in your life, but also you wanting to give back. And that's exciting. So like you said, not only cutting a check, but also really changing the lives of people at Nationwide too, and giving back. And of course, in return, changing countless and countless generations. So again, we're talking right now about Reggie Sleepout at home. And it's at home because you can take part at home, no matter where you're at. You could be camping out on the floor. You could be in a tent. You could be on the sofa. You could, I mean, my goodness, we could keep going forever. It's however you want to camp out to be a part of raising awareness and raising funds for homeless youth all throughout Iowa. And I want to take a look at our community support for Reggie's Sleepout at home. And all throughout these last, 10 days, we've been encouraging people to snap the photos. Get a photo of how you're sleeping out, what you're doing. Hey, maybe if you have some guests with you, maybe some fur babies with you, take that picture and show it to us. So do we have some photos here to show of some of the folks that have been sleeping out and taking part of Reggie's Sleepout at home? So, and Toby, if you know about these photos, you're welcome to give any captions or Oh, this is right here on Reggie's Sleepout at Home Facebook page.
Yep, I don't know this team as well, but I'm very excited that the whole family is participating.
Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. And we got, yep, one of those fur babies sleeping out. Everybody's sleeping out there. This is great. So, and we still have, I love it. So I'm an animal lover. Won't say how many animals we have here in the house, but we've got quite a few. And so everybody can jump on board here. And you can still register yet tonight. If you want to register for Reggie's Sleepout at Home and help out here, go to www.reggiesleepout.org. And you can share your photo right there, hashtag RSO at home. So please jump on board, share your photos. We can maybe even use these to inspire others years to come. Okay, so Nate, let me come back to you here and ask, maybe get a little more personal with you. Why are you personally, jumping on board and sleeping out and being a part of Reggie's Sleepout? What's it mean to you?
Yeah, it's something that not only myself but my family we're passionate about. The community, the local community, and giving back, and some of it is just some of our passion around the youth. My wife's actually a school teacher in the community here, and so she sees firsthand some of the challenges that kids in the community have. And part of it too, being a father, being a parent, we in our family have some blessings and some opportunities, and have been afforded some of those things and resources that it's important that I'm trying to help I have two young sons, understand that not everybody has those opportunities and resources and blessings that we've been lucky enough to have. And so some of it is a passion of ours of giving back and helping specifically children and young youth, at-risk youth. And it's always been that way, but I think especially, as I mentioned, with my wife being a school teacher, it's probably grown over the last few years with her being involved there and some of the things that she sees and works with on a daily basis. But, we talk with our children regularly about, the importance of giving back. And, as you go through life, you will acquire resources, whether that's financial or relationships or influence or education or whatever that is. And as you acquire those resources, what are you doing with them? What are you doing with them to help those around you and maybe those that don't have some of those same resources and opportunities? And so for us, it's multifaceted here in the Lentz family. That it's just something that we're passionate about. And Reggie's Sleepout is a prime example of one way that we can support and help give back a little bit, and not only help support the community, but honestly, from a selfish standpoint, use it as a model to help our children become better young men as they grow up. So. From a personal standpoint, getting a little vulnerable there for a minute, that's why it's important to us.
I don't know as if I've heard a better reason why it's important to you. And it's going to be important to everybody in a unique way. And with you saying your wife being a teacher, one of the really cool things that I hear this year Reggie's Sleepout is doing is emailing every morning kind of educational supplies to engage dialogue and so if you're sleeping out with your kids, like you said, and your family, there's resources there to open up dialogue and also educate about the subject. And with your wife being a teacher, I'm sure she's appreciated some of these education resources, because going virtual, shopping lists where you need to calculate how much you have on a budget and make all those equations. And I'm terrible at math, so I probably need to go through and repeat that lesson again. But just really, really cool things. So you're jumping on board, www.reggiesleepout.org. That's what you need to know to get involved. And one final question from me, Nate, do you have a favorite Reggie's Sleepout memory?
Yeah, I would tell you, so I've had the opportunity to be on the board with IHYC for about a year and a half, almost 2 years now. And so last year at Drake Stadium was my first introduction to Reggie's Sleepout. And the thing I remember the most was just the energy and the camaraderie amongst the group. You really saw it as they were building their tents and building the structures, and just the interactions. And again, that camaraderie, I think, really stood out to me. And not only just seeing it, but knowing the cause that it's working towards, and the folks that it's helping. And so that's that first impression for me. It was a chilly day at Drake Stadium. I think we were all bundled up pretty good. The wind was blowing, but it's Iowa. That's how it works here. Yep. So that was a really cool experience for me to see for the first time, and kind of sucked me in, if you will, to the cause.
Yeah, and you're right. Chilly day. It's been chilly lately here too. So, if you're sleeping actually outside, you're getting a pretty good experience of sleeping outside. And there's a lot of statistics out there, a lot of facts that we talk about too. I don't know if we've talked about the weather much, but we all know if a homeless youth is outside during the winter months, I mean, you can figure that out for yourself. But one thing we like to do every single night is share some statistics, some facts with folks out there. So Toby, what are the statistics for tonight, or the did you knows for folks?
Well, thanks, Rusty. The first did you know is really kind of a success. So 95% of the youth that we served in our programs and our housing programs in 2018 transitioned into safe and appropriate housing. So that really shows you that the programs and the support systems that we create really work. We just need the funds and the staffing to be able to intervene when youth present that they are homeless, to help them resolve it, and then hopefully they don't occur any more homeless experience after that. So really just showing that it's possible. And so in 2018, we had 95% of the youth transition to that safe and appropriate housing. Then in the second did you know, it is kind of shocking a little bit. So just in the Des Moines Public School District. So just in one district, it is the largest district in Iowa, but still just one school district, there were over 1,500 homeless students that were either identified as currently homeless or at risk of homeless. And some of that's in family units. Some of that's maybe doubled up, tripled up at relatives or friends or families. But that's a staggering number, that 1,500 students of Des Moines Public Schools that were either identified at risk or currently homeless. So that's kind of the scary, shocking one, but also communicates the importance of why our agency needs to be connected with school systems. And there are homeless liaisons. Typically, each school has one liaison. Each community district, kind of school district, has a liaison. Some have more. And our agency works to kind of coordinate those liaisons together to have kind of a unified front, because youth pop around and go around in different communities. And so that school and that agency partnership is really important, because that's kind of the first time that our teachers can identify if a youth is in need. And so some of the things that we would do would go into a school and do trainings for teachers on how to identify warning signs for homelessness, and then how to refer to our agency if a youth does present. So it's kind of a daunting number, but it's an important one for the community and for Reggie Sleepout campers to understand that school is kind of the first typical place where you can see a youth that maybe is at risk of homelessness. And then the third did you know is kind of unique, that people kind of have an aha moment. And I think, Rusty, even you might have had this moment a while back. So our Youth Opportunity Center, a lot of times if youth maybe get financial assistance or disability, or maybe get some other type of maybe a duplicate birth certificate in the mail, homeless youth don't have a mailing address, obviously, but people don't think of that as kind of one of the barriers. So our Youth Opportunity Center serves as a mailing address for a lot of the youth that we work with. So roughly 50 youth a year use our mailing address. It makes it a little daunting. We're kind of sorting our mail and putting it in piles, and youth come in and, do I have any mail today? And that's something that we work through, but it's an important component to provide and break down those barriers. And one of those is not having a mailing address, which sounds silly, but it is something that is crucial for kind of getting back on your feet, is be able to receive mail.
No, and right there, I mean, I see a picture of, I believe, is that 612?
Mm-hmm.
612 Locust, right there. One of the centers that we're talking about, the Iowa Homeless Youth Centers, that's 612 right there. And I also found out recently with my aha moments that there's laundry. There, I mean, like you said, the mailing address, technology, there's being able, and if you don't know how to use the technology, the resources, you're making a lot of aha moments for me here. And the collaboration that we have with the schools, because you're right, they see things firsthand right away, and now they know the number one resource to go to.
Even just thinking about receiving your tax refund.
Oh my goodness.
How do you get that? So you get that because it's mailed to you by the federal government. If you don't have a bank account, which a lot of our youth don't. So it's just breaking down those barriers, and a mailing address is one of those ways that we do that.
So kind of all encompassing here, all encompassing. So again, I can't encourage people enough watching this, be you're watching it now live, or maybe you're watching it later on. Please share this video. Get the word out there, even after Reggie's Sleepout at home, for people to get involved, to become involved, like Nate was talking about, be it you're an organization, and Nate kind of doubles there as an organization and as an individual with the family, and both equally involved, or be it a company, again, anyway, get involved with this, because right there you just saw 1,500 youth in just 2018 alone. In just Des Moines school district, I saw, were identified at risk of homelessness or homeless. I mean, it's a big job here that we're talking about. Another thing that we like to do during these Reggie Sleepout at Home live broadcasts is highlight an education program. And kind of give a focus, give it maybe a little bit of shout out. So Toby, tonight, who are we giving the shout out to?
So tonight, the program that we're going to kind of dive in a little bit deeper is our street outreach program, which provides some of that assistance for those youth that are sleeping on the streets by going out into the community and engaging with youth that are homeless or sleeping in camps or in streets. So we have kind of a short video about our street outreach team, kind of the services that they provide, and it's in our street outreach van, and it's really informative.
Many of our youth were dealt a bad hand in life, and sometimes that means living on the street.
The sound of our outreach van approaching means relief with food, water, and other basic necessities.
Our outreach advocate Teresa spends weekends trying to find youth where they're at and get them connected with our services.
So we used to have camps where it was nothing to have 10, 15 plus young people in camps. Now it's a little bit different. I do still find young people out there. We do have what's going on with the younger people, though. A lot of them do a lot of couch surfing and will go stay with other people and that kind of thing, but they're still out there. It is a place I check on just because people can be in there still. People hang out in this area, sleep down here. I started as an intern here. I did that for about 9 months. And I've always done the street outreach piece. I've never worked at the Buchanan House. I didn't do Lighthouse. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to go out on the street. Me and my boyfriend, I'm still with the same person at this time. But we had to stay out on the street ourselves. Didn't know about anything about where you can get food, any of that. So that I think is what kind of brought me to want to work with people that are homeless. Sometimes we run into people, sometimes we don't. And it also depends too when you go to camps. Some people may not be home because they might be out, because today's a nice day, they might be out candy, just flying signs. And depending on when you go out, like during the day, it looks different than at night. Summer supplies is always going to be water, sunscreen if we have it, always hygiene packs, and that could be, there's either shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, toothbrush. I think I put socks in these ones. If anybody gives me food, donated food, I will put food back here. What else do I have? Clothes. I try to have summer clothes in the summertime. Obviously, in the wintertime, I switch it up to scarves, gloves, hats, winter coats, boots. Shoes is another hide item. Shoes and socks. Underwear, as if we have any kind of camping gear at all. We take that out too. Again, I don't get that a lot. A couple weeks ago, I had a bunch of stuff that somebody had given to me, and I knew somebody that needed it, so I took it to them. So that's pretty much what I carry out in this. When you get used to going to the same places and seeing the same people over and over again, and then when the city or whoever comes in and tears everything down, then you're on a hunting. You're on a hunting process of trying to find out where people went, because they just didn't magically get a place to stay. Sometimes I'll go downtown on the bikes, because again, you can get in those alleys and those areas that you can't. I mean, you'd be surprised. I find some really cool, interesting places that you don't know exist unless you're doing this kind of work. And you can find different places like that on bikes. But I do try to get up on the bikes to go to the bike trails.
That is an incredible video. Incredible video, Toby. Unreal.
Yeah, the magnitude of that kind of sets in when you see campsites. And hats off to Teresa. She's an amazing employee at IHYC. She's so passionate about street outreach. There have been years where we've tried to get her to do full-time jobs as a case manager or an advocate, because she's amazing. And she's like, no, I only want to do street outreach and nothing else. And so I'm like, okay, we will do that as much as we can. She's amazing at it. The youth know her. She's fearless. She goes into areas that, and we go in teams, but some places I think are beyond what I think is safe. And she just goes in to try and find that youth and help bring them to our facility to kind of bring them and reconnect them into the community. And so she's a great staff. The street outreach team, we've even in the past have had volunteers ride along with us, which we might be looking at bringing that back. My father actually used to ride in the street outreach van, and I would ride with him as a little kid. And we would cook meals for youth that were sleeping out. So I remember vividly riding in the street outreach van and handing out blankets as a kid. And it's impactful when you see someone who just needs a hand in the moment. They're under duress and they just want a little help. And to see how happy they are and how they want to help others it is amazing. And the street outreach team is as kind of one of those core components of our agency. It's reaching out to someone that needs help instead of waiting for them to come to our facility. We want to go engage with them when they're in crisis and help them reconnect and get back up on their feet. And it's amazing and rewarding work. It's stressful and tough work at the same time, but it's a core element of the services that we provide at Iowa Homeless Youth Sitters is that street outreach into the community. We go into jails and do street outreach. We go to other emergency shelters, adult shelters looking for youth. We go in the skywalks and on the streets, parking lots, Walmarts, McDonald's, anywhere that we think a youth could be in duress. We try and find them and provide support in the moment, and then invite them to come back to 612, our Youth Opportunity Center.
Yeah, you're really hitting it as soon as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
When I say hitting it, I'm talking about hitting the need. And it sounds like you go to wherever or whatever that need is, and you find it, and you get it earlier than later and provide the resources. Again, just so incredible. And I can't promise anything here, but I did hear from somebody who was watching one of these videos of Reggie's Sleepout last week. And they are really excited to find a way that they can volunteer and become a part of IHYC. And I think that is so cool because Toby, you talked about when you were a kid just riding in the van. I mean, well, look at what impact that had.
Right.
Right. I mean, and I'm sure Nate has stories too, just about the impact and my goodness, the influence and now even people that are watching this, and I believe it was Teresa is the one driving the van, correct? And I mean, so that is her role. That's what she wants to do. That's what she's good at. Guarantee you everybody watching this has some role that you can play, and some way that is your way to serve or to give back or to, so just incredible. Just incredible, Toby.
And I also want to give a shout out to Blake for capturing that video and creating that video, because it is very hard to tell someone what street outreach is. And really that video is a good snapshot of true street outreach work. Well,
and let's also give a shout out to Blake Williamson. And I mean, he's behind the curtain right now. He is that you've seen him the past couple of nights with YSS, Reggie's Sleepout at home here. And he's been running now tonight. He's running all of this. He's playing the videos. He's putting together all of this. And you're saying that he's doing these videos too?
Yep. He's doing the videos. He did all our hair and makeup. So like it's
yeah. I can't give him compliments on that one.
All right, fine.
Okay. But Blake, huge shout out to Blake. Huge shout out to everybody with IHYC and that has put together Reggie's Sleepout at home. So much work has went into this. And even again, what I was talking about earlier, emailing those activities of the day and getting those out there. I was talking about the coolest one that I saw. And again, I haven't seen all of them, but there's that shopping at home. And going and budgeting and having obstacles thrown your way. And how are you going to budget that? Every day there's been a different activity for people to engage with that are partaking with Reggie's Sleepout at home. So what is the activity that we're talking about today?
Yeah, the activity tonight is pretty impactful. It's pretty much a grab and go scenario. So our youth, number one cause for youth homelessness is an unsafe home environment. So a lot of times youth will have to grab a backpack, put things in it, whatever they can think of what they need, and kind of leave under duress. And so this is a kind of a educational component where you can sit your kids down, or you can participate, have a bag and say, hey, you have 5 minutes, fill this bag with whatever you think you need to kind of live on the streets or survive, and go. And then you can kind of circle back up with them, talk about some of the items that they selected, some of the items that they should have selected, and just have some conversations around what it means to have to grab and go under duress, that our youth face that all the time. So we've had other people kind of do these examples, and sometimes some kids will be like, oh, I need to get some of these items, and really they need to get more of the core items of survival. But people aren't quite processing that yet. So kind of that educational piece for tonight is that grab and go bag, 5 minutes. What would you take with you as kind of the educational component?
Oh, awesome. So, and we can't, Nate, I'm sorry, you've been way too quiet. It's like, I'm here, but let me throw you a curveball, Nate. And since you've been jumping on board, last year and this year, what would you say kind of your favorite thing is, or something that stands out about this year with you sleeping out, and again, kind of recapture your experience a bit there?
Yeah, there's a lot of moments there, but I think overall, just the fact that we didn't let what's happening with COVID-19 and things like that derail the overall sentiment and making this event happen. The group got incredibly creative. There was a ton of hard work put in by many, many people, Toby and others. And to me, just that overall sentiment that kind of the perseverance, if you will, the metaphor that's within that, right, of still making this happen. It's that important to everyone involved, and it's that important of a cause. we didn't get derailed by it. And I think there's a ton of credit to Toby and all the team for making that happen and still kicking this off, doing it virtually, having these things each night. So to me, that's maybe what I will remember the most about this year is you talk about throwing me a curveball. We've all been thrown a big curveball here in 2020. And I think IHYC and the staff and everyone involved just did an amazing job of still making this a priority and making this happen. That's the most memorable thing for me.
And to throw it right back at you, Nate, I mean, thanks to you and thanks to Nationwide.
Yep.
We've been able to handle this curveball and been able to do what the awesome stuff Toby and Blake and all of IHYC has pulled off. I can't tell you how much I've been on Facebook this week promoting Reggie's Sleepout, trying to get, because it's been truly incredible to see how creative y'all have got. And just, I mean, it's truly just absolutely awesome. And there's still, yet tonight, you're watching this, Reggie's Sleepout at home. You can still go register. You can still get supplies to camp out. And Toby helped me out here, but I believe you camp out. Reggie's Sleepout's going until Sunday night. Is that right?
Yep, it's going through Sunday. You can still raise funds. You can still donate, and even past the date of the event, people can still donate to the event.
And holy cow, we've talked about how impactful the donations are. Be it to that van that we just watched with the video, be it to cell phones, be it to the locations, be it to, I mean, so much stuff that we desperately need those donations for. So you can go to reggiesleepout.org and make a donation, and you can also volunteer. Maybe if you don't have the finances, you can jump on board and you can volunteer or find that way, like Teresa. That's her way, is driving that van. You can find a way to help out. Up here on the screen right now, I also just saw that we do have a goal that we're going for, which is $130,000, I believe.
Yep.
Okay, $130,000, and it looks like right now we're at what, 85,000, so about $85,500. So still, come on, we've got 2 more nights yet, 2 more nights to get to $130,000. You know, that's just, maybe share this video with some friends, give them a call, encourage them. Talk about what, some of the facts, some of the statistics that we shared tonight. Go through, watch the rest of the videos, and you'll be well informed on all that's going out here. I also want to say that for the folks that might be, well, let me just say this, that when the Reggie's Sleepout closes and the final night on Sunday night, you will be receiving an email with credits to order t-shirts, other incentives, and there's going to be digital stores that also open up. You can also purchase additional items if you didn't hit the dollar amount for the fundraiser, a bunch of stuff. So please don't think just because Sunday night, boom, it's all over, it's done. Nope, it's going to keep going and keep going and keep going, and we need your help to keep that momentum going. So, okay, we have a targeted appeal for the night, and let me just throw this out, Toby. What would you say our target appeal for the night is? What do we want to challenge some folks to do?
So the targeted appeal tonight is just kind of setting and creating a mini fundraiser. Maybe your kids want to do a little fundraiser or a bake sale, maybe a lemonade stand if the weather permits for that. Probably isn't right now, but any type of kind of mini fundraiser that you can think of to raise funds. Here's an example on the screen where a family rented a dunk tank, and then they charged a nominal fee for people to take attempts. It was a much larger amount if you wanted an automatic push the button, which I thought was creative. So just kind of get creative with your fundraising. Think of a mini kind of miniature fundraiser and help raise funds that 100% of what you raise as a camper goes back to support programming at IHYC. So the challenge tonight is kind of just to get creative.
100% goes back. 100% goes back to IHYC. So, And I tell you what, we have some creative folks out there, especially this time of COVID, and a lot of people at home and thinking. And so, come on, let's get creative with those fundraisers, and put together some really awesome fundraisers again to help out and keep this rolling, keep it going. So, to all those watching tonight, we've been talking about Reggie's Sleepout at Home. Can't encourage you enough to please share this video, get the word out there. Do have to also give a shout out, because folks that have been tuning in live, we have a comment from Kristen, and it comes right to Nate. So nice job, Nate. She's a proud nationwider. So Nate, you're awesome. Thank you so much for everything. And on behalf of Nation, or I should say, thanks to you on behalf of Nationwide for doing everything that you've done to make all of this possible. So, Toby, Nate, anything we want to say before we wish a happy night of camping out?
I think I would just say we're in the home stretch, the final weekend of the event, and so I'm excited to see if we can turn a corner, kind of reach that, edging closer to our goal, and end this event on a successful note.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add other than just appreciation, and Toby kind of commented on it, whether it's sleeping out, whether it's donating, volunteering, it's all good. And so we really appreciate it, and still not too late tonight, tomorrow night, Sunday. Get involved, and we really appreciate it, and from Nationwide as well. We just appreciate this partnership. IHYC has been a fantastic partner, and can't say enough good things. It's certainly our pleasure. It's honestly very humbling.
Well, and thanks to everybody out there who is joining this cause. It is a massive team, and it takes a village to pull this off. That I can guarantee you. And if you're going to be sleeping out yet tonight or tomorrow night, you have not shared your photos yet, please share those photos. We want to get those photos out there. We want to inspire other people by your photos. And I believe, and I'm bad with trying to remember things, but I believe it's hashtag RSO at home. Is that right, Toby?
That's right.
Okay. Look.
Yep, right up on the screen there.
Okay, there we go. There you go. So right up on the screen. Hashtag RSO at home. It's that simple to share your photos. If you also just want to post them to Reggie's Sleepout at home on the Facebook page, you can do that too. And maybe even would folks be invited to share their creative fundraisers?
Yeah, yep. That's a great idea.
Okay, so please share those photos. Again, biggest thing, get the word out there. We're at almost $90,000 right now. Need to get to $130,000. Two more nights, but it doesn't end there, because there's a lot of stuff that can happen after those 2 nights, a lot of stuff that will happen. So, okay, well, to all those who've been watching, thank you for tuning in live. And again, share the video, get the word out there. Happy sleeping out to you all. And thank you for being a part of Reggie's Sleepout at Home.